father shit.
Father shit.
Is it? It's not cold in Miami, is it? Yeah, that's
cold as ice.
no.
Nah, it's not.
Because it's supposed to be like some winter wonderland.
I heard you guys didn't even have winter this year.
Yeah, but hold on, son. It's not over yet. Let's see if the climate changes in the norm to the
World War III will happen before that.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not.
What you got,
fellas? Everything
What's
good?
up, man? Yeah.
Everything's good.
So, question: I want to see what you guys think. If if me and my girl made the right decision here. So my daughter has been taking martial arts for the past. So she's been doing it for like 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just about. She's got like her 3rd or 4th belt coming up right now this week. But and then we started her. She was doing ballet in her school, but that was included in her school. But the ballet teacher ended up leaving, and that program was discontinued in the school. And she loved ballet in the school, right? And she does gymnastics, right? So she's got a pretty full week. Oh, when we started her back up, I forgot to say we found a ballet place and we put her in ballet outside of school. So now she has ballet, gymnastics, and martial arts, karate. And she started complaining about going to her karate class. And then she started to become disruptive in her class.
Remember you said you had an episode with her a couple months ago.
Yeah, where she wasn't listening. You know, everything in the class is all about being disciplined.
Right.
She wasn't listening. But it's crazy because it's 50-50. She's not listening and she's being a little disruptive, but yet she's really good at it. And when she does it, she does it really well. And the master, he thinks that she's really good. So since we started her now with this ballet class, it's on the weekends also. It's like we could take her during the week, but she also goes on the weekend, which to me was always kind of like a no because I wanted to have the kids have the weekend kind of off and we all the family together. But she really likes ballet and she went to a class and she loved it. She was really good at it. She was really disciplined in it. It just seems to be like her thing, right? Where she like loses herself in doing that. So I asked her, I go, do you want to do, well, she told my girl that she didn't want to do karate. And she says that often when we're taking her. So I asked her, do you want to do karate anymore? She's like, no. So just to see if it was in line with her wanting to do anything, I said, do you want to do gymnastics? She's like, yes. Do you want to do ballet? She's like, yes. Is Manny frozen? Yes. Yes. Either that or
no, he's in deep thought. Real deep thought.
I was really concentrating.
He was concentrating. So she said yes to the other things. And mind you, with gymnastics, she went through an episode she didn't want to go and she stopped for a little bit and then she requested to go back. So me and my girl decided, you know what? She doesn't really want to do it. Let's not force her to do it. Because she's also becoming disruptive in the class. It's ruining it for other kids.
Yeah.
So rather than force her, we just said, okay, this is like your last month of doing it. We want her to finish her belt that she's going to get her new belt now. And she, we're pulling the plug on it and I'm hoping that she's going to come around later and be like, I want to return. And then I'll put my son at the same time at that point. But what do you guys think? You think we should have stuck to our guns and forced her to do it? Or what are your thoughts?
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's good that you're having her finish out whatever time period is
right
on there. I don't know. I think I flip-flop on some of that stuff sometimes. I know we ran into that because we used to have my son into a whole bunch of stuff. But he also liked most of it. But then there was times where it was a struggle. It's almost like, I don't know if we had too much going on where we just kind of like packed the schedule too much. But at the same time, if we don't have a lot going on, then it's like, all right, what is he going to do? That kind of thing. But there were times where it was a struggle. Like he liked jujitsu, but then didn't like it, or even with swimming, like there was times he really was into it, and then it's like, don't really feel like going. But I know, and soccer, we had signed him up for soccer early on, and it turned out kind of like being the wrong thing, and he really didn't like it. I was more inclined to let him stop it, but my wife was more on the let's have him finish it out. So I mean, because it's not like a forever thing. At least teaching him that, well, okay, when we sign up to do something, just finish it out. Don't quit on it. Finish it, and then you don't have to go back, type thing.
Yeah, I think you guys did the right thing. You got to have it's good to have them explore things, because they're not going to know what they like until they actually experience it. They might have an opinion on it based on things they see, but until they're in it, many things they're just not going to know, right? So like that's the right moves, like setting a time frame around like the trial. In this case, it's been longer than a trial, but you're finishing off at a milestone, which I think is dope. And then if she really just not with it, then she won't, her interest won't be piqued, but at least she got to that step in the process. We're going through something similar in my house where my son, I think I might have mentioned this, my son, very nonviolent kid, doesn't even like, he's afraid of, like, not afraid. He prefers not to have contact. Like kids roughhouse, he's not with it. But that to me is like, the way kids are, as soon as they weed out the person that doesn't want to have any contact, they consider them like, they could consider you a punk.
Mm-hmm.
They might try to punk you, right? And so it's been a struggle for me to kind of have that conversation with him, because I don't want him to feel like he is a punk because he doesn't like contact. That's cool. Like, you don't have to like contact, but you got to be okay. But you got to also be able to, like, I don't want to take it like defend yourself, but like stand up for yourself, right? So that you aren't that victim. So we're gonna go and try out jujitsu, actually.
Mm.
Which,
a lot of contact and shit.
Mad contact.
That's like going from 0 to 60.
From badminton to fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, let's just throw you off the deep end and see how this goes. But the thing about it is, one of his friends, our neighbor, goes and does it. So because his neighbor does it, I think there's a little bit more comfort around it. He's still kind of hesitant, but the way we approached it was like, yo, look, I know what your issue is. You don't like contact. This is full on contact. Like, there's no bones about it. But we're going to try this for X amount of time. You're going to go to the trial class and we'll see how that goes. If you like it or you want to continue, we'll figure it out. If not, we try something else. But we're going to do something involving some sort of contact, whether it's lighter or as crazy as jiu-jitsu might be. We got to try something so that you can, at least, even from a sports perspective, it's beneficial to him, because you playing basketball, you got to have contact in order to like do certain things effectively. So we're going through it now, and he's open to it now versus before he was kind of like, nah, fuck that.
That the first time we took my son to jujitsu, we walk in, you go downstairs. There's like a dojo downstairs in the basement. We go down there, we sit down. All the kids are doing stuff on the mat. They look up and they see him, and we all kind of sat down. And they got up and they came right over to us, and they kind of like circled him a little bit and started sizing him up. We were like, what is going on?
This is where you're at now?
No, this is when he was doing jujitsu. Yeah.
Fresh meat.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
And did he do that class?
They were bold as hell. Yeah, he did the class. He kind of looked at us like, what is, and it was that first class, it was full on like
tense.
Yeah, getting thrown around. He had to like knuckle up with them, and it was crazy.
Were you sitting there watching like, oh, I'm not good with this?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I don't know about this.
That was hard, babe. As much as like watching my son play basketball, it's funny because my daughter, she could hold her own better than my son. My son's like frail, little. My daughter's like, she's got, she's a big girl. She's a teenager, so she can hold her own. When she's getting like not thrown around, but when she's having physical contact, I'm not worried about her. Like I know she'll be okay. When my son is bumped or whatever, like the kid could break an arm. So I'm always like, like you get kind of wild a little bit. Then I'm like, nah, you gotta let him go. You gotta learn.
Yeah, no, but you're doing the right. I think you're doing the right thing in terms of like trying
exposing him,
because my son is similar as well. He's not, he doesn't love like the physical contact. I mean, he can roughhouse, but he's not like that's not like his main thing. So we've definitely had to push him into like the jujitsu. It's like, okay, why don't you try this so that you can at least understand what this kind of full contact is all about, and it does help with the sports. And even when he's playing basketball or things, we have to tell him, don't be afraid to use your weight, push people around, do what you got.
use jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, don't be afraid to bang into someone if you have to.
Yeah. So so have you noticed a change in your daughter's demeanor at all? Like, did that conversation, are you letting her know like, yo, this piece is done, we're gonna focus you on gymnastics and
Yeah, I just don't want her to feel like she can easily quit things either. And obviously it's for me, I've always wanted my kids to be in martial arts, and for her, I want her to be able to defend herself.
Yeah.
And so it's like important to me. Actually, what's more embarrassing to me was telling the instructor.
Oh yeah, we're not coming back.
Yeah, like I almost felt like the dude looked at us like, you weakling parents.
Yeah, you punk.
He's like, why? I don't, what's going on? And then we're like telling him like, oh, and then he's like looking at us like sideways.
It's conflicting, man. It's like, because they're young kids, right? And you got to teach them lessons and they have to learn certain things. But then on the flip side, like when I put my own self into the mix, I'm thinking like, man, I hate doing stuff I don't like. Like if there's something I don't like to do, I just don't do it because it's a waste of my time, right? For the most part. But I guess you have to find that balance of like, all right, what are we teaching our kids here? And do they need to learn to kind of endure shit they don't like? I don't know.
I could tell that she does it because she knows that I like it or that we enjoy, her doing it. And she does, like, she's always looking when we're there, or, she's just looking for her parents. Like, look, you see, look what I did. And in the, like, for example, in ballet and in gymnastics, the parents are removed from the classroom.
That's good.
And so my girl, like, I don't go often to the gymnastics. I mean, I haven't gone to the ballet either because she just started, but I've seen, videos where my girl says that in gymnastics, there's TV screens where you could kind of see them in this big room. And that's as much as, the parent can see, but they don't see the parent. And then in the ballet, same thing. They're in a separate room. Like my girl has to like peek in through like a glass door to try to see her. And she sent me a video, and you see my daughter like focused. And so I think that, it proves that she's doing it because she wants to do it. And in the other one, she's looking to us all the time. So it's like she's doing it for us versus for herself.
It is cool when they find something that they really enjoy and they click into it. And it's not something that you have to like coax them into, or it's like a chore to get it to go do it,
Yeah, nah, man, the ballet thing is incredible. Like she's so into it. So excited to wear all the tutu stuff and all that ballet stuff. And yeah, and she's into it. It's cool. It's cool to see her so into something like that.
So yeah, you gotta just nurture that. At some point, like down the road, and maybe it's something less commitment oriented, like I don't know, you sign her up for some self-defense classes and just like a session or two that kind of shows some basic techniques on how to defend yourself, like some Krav Maga.
Well, let me ask you this. So me and my girl's first time, we went shooting this weekend. Right?
Okay. Like not skeet shooting, actual gun.
Shooting. My boy Charlie, we got we're gonna be taking these like tactical shooting classes.
Oh shit.
Right? With an instructor.
Tuck and roll on the floor and all that shit.
All of that. But
oh shit.
Being that he took his daughter, who's 19, and I took my girl, both of them first time shooting. And so the dude, he has to, and because even in general, he just has to do a basics class, like a safety and basic shooting class. So the first one was just the basics, and it was cool though. It was dope. But he said he teaches a lot of women and children. That's like one of his things. And I was like, oh, how old? How old are the kids? Like, how young can they come? And he's like, well, it's like 6 years old is kind of like the youngest, but if it's like a mature 5-year-old,
Wow.
like, my daughter's about to be 5. Like,
wait, time
Really?
out. Like they give them a gun and they're shooting in the range at 6 years old.
yeah,
Yo,
that's what he says.
Whoa.
I mean,
I don't know, dog.
no, but to this, I mean, this is a accredited instructor. Like, supposedly the class we took, we get a certificate that we took this class.
Yo, I don't trust my 6-year-old to wipe her ass properly. I'm not gonna trust her with a gun in her hand.
I can print you a certificate if you want.
He doesn't like, he doesn't give you a gun right off the rip.
I don't know. That's what it feels like.
No.
Oh, you're 6? Here, hold that.
No,
Right.
I think with the kids, he has rubber guns to like do certain things. And then he has dummy bullets to do certain things. And then, you know, according to him, all of us, even the first timers, my girl and my boy's daughter, we learned quick, like all the safety stuff. And the guy says, if I feel comfortable with your understanding of safety and your repetition, and I don't have to tell you keep your finger off the trigger, then he goes, then we get into things quicker. And we got into the shooting. Like my girl was like we did 2 things, and then all of a sudden he's like, okay, pull the trigger, you're going live. And she's like, what the hell? Like, she so I don't know. I mean, I could see kids. I mean, come on, man. It's Florida.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, and I have no idea what the answer is to this, but do you think like at such an early age that creates a kid's extra fascination with guns? Or not?
I've told you guys before. I had a friend that he at a young age was handling weapons and shooting guns, and he learned all the safety stuff. And this is now like me and him meet in junior high. He had guns in junior high, and he, like, the respect he had for these weapons translated to me as not having the same background as him. And so I, treated the weapons with the same, respect that he did. I just think it teaches you respect for the guns if you learn the right way from a young age. You're not gonna, I think you're more likely to be a kid to discover a gun in your dad's drawer and think it's a toy and play with it, versus someone that takes you to a range with an instructor or a father that knows, or a mother, and teaches you like the basics, the safety, and shows you how much you have to respect this weapon. I think there's a big difference. And I'm with that, man. And look, I'll tell you something that put a lot of things into perspective as to why I'm kind of going down this road of getting back into like guns how I used to be, in a sense. My boy Charlie said that he had an instructor a couple of years back that had an arsenal of weapons, right? And he tells the guy, like, yo, why do you have so many guns? He's like, I have these guns to deal with the people, for the people who don't have the guns, right? And then Charlie's like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, if shit hits the fan, I'm gonna take my guns and I'm gonna go across the street to my neighbor who doesn't have guns, and I'm taking all his shit.
Oh shit.
And he said the guy said that with the utmost seriousness. And this is an instructor
that teaches 6-year-olds.
No, it's not the same guy. Not the same guy. It's another instructor here. But I'm just saying that mentality is legit in society.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's all these people with guns in this country. You think if the shit hits the fan, those people with guns aren't going to take advantage of the ones that don't have guns?
Yeah, of course.
Don't have the knowledge to use these guns? Like, just because you have guns and you know how to use them doesn't mean you have to be one of those dickheads with guns, like.
Right.
So, yeah.
Damn,
that's
babe.
where we're at. So, yeah, I'm getting machine guns. I'm getting everything, baby.
Okay. Yeah, I can't bring myself to having my kid. I understand the logic behind properly training your kids at a young age, and then them likely having more respect. That makes sense to me. And I've seen it proven out. Like my neighbor, I mean, I don't think he takes his kid to the range, but he has guns in the home, and he's like, yo, this is why, and like he really goes into detail about like what the guns mean and why they have them and how to respect them and how to, I think, even disassemble them and clean them and all that kind of stuff. Which I think is dope. I mean, I don't own any firearms, but I have no issue with people who do. I'm always hesitant. Like I got close to buying one when, you know, the pandemic was jumping off and the election cycle was going nuts and stuff. But I never brought myself to doing so. I don't know. I still can't get over the hump, I guess, personally.
It's also you're gonna laugh, but it's a good source of it's a good investment.
Oh yeah, they appreciate.
I knew a guy that had an arsenal as well, and he's like, this is, instead of buying gold, you know, jewelry or stocks, I buy guns, because when all these crazy political things or the pandemic or whatever, the prices go up, and I could sell these things at a huge profit.
Yeah.
So more guns. No, I'm just playing.
Definitely food for thought on that one.
I'm not advocating for people to get guns.
No, but just I never even thought about
6-year-olds,
you know, kids going and learning like that. That's interesting.
Well, I mean, kids in high school, they have skeet shooting clubs. I tell my boy Charlie's daughter, I was like, she's like, oh, I don't know if I really like this. Like, what? Come, continue to do it, and then you could shoot in school. And she's like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't mean like that, but like that shows how I'm like, you know, how today what that means.
Yeah.
Immediately what that means. I'm like, no, I meant like the club, the shooting club, which when I was in school, I don't know if they have them now, but when I was in school, they had like a skeet shooting club.
Yo, I had none of that in the Bronx, bro. It was you lucky you had math and science. Like, forget about skeet shooting.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
you're so poor, no math and science. Get the fuck out of here.
Aye. Oh, real quick before we head out of here. So my daughter turned 16.
Wow.
Yeah. I sent y'all a picture, and but we got her. So she said that once she turned 16, she wanted to go get her driver's permit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was let's support her in that journey. And then we got her, I think the toy is like for 3-year-olds. It's like a little toy, not even a car because it doesn't have wheels, but you sit in.
What is it? Those tricycle cars?
Yeah, I'll see if I can send a picture through when we post this, but it's it's like a little, she's 16. She's a big girl. She's tall. So my 6-year-old barely fits in it. So my 16-year-old sat down in it, and was actually, because it's like a little game that you can play with the steering wheel. So she's in there like, but we did the whole thing. Like we covered her eyes and was like, honey, we got a surprise for you.
Oh, damn.
We did the whole thing.
What a letdown.
You're a dick.
We did something similar a couple of years ago. She wanted a skateboard. So we were like, all right, cool. Yo, we went to Five Below, and they had the little skateboard. You could barely put your foot on it. It's that small. And when she opened she almost cried. She was like, what? And then we had a dope skateboard that Kay, actually, you donated to the household. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But she used, we took that one out, and that was the full size one. But yeah, we do gags like a lot. Sometimes we can cross the line, but she actually likes this toy. She's like, I'll play with it. Did
you take her to go get her? Is it permit in New York, or is it license?
Yeah. Oh, okay. She's going tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. It's a whole nother world.
Y'all saw that video of that daughter getting mad about the dad giving a Tesla, I think.
No.
I don't know if I saw it right, but yeah, it was something about like a kid getting a Tesla as their first car or something as a gift, and being upset, like not wanting a Tesla, like wanting something else.
Boy, oh bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I know everybody got to go, so it was a pleasure you seeing me. I'll talk to you guys later.
Shut the fuck up.